Yes, Thanksgiving Day. Family and football and the feast. You don't need much to be rich on Thanksgiving Day.
Welcome to Sharp or Square, presented by Hard Rock Bet. We are part of the Volume Podcast Network. This is the show that makes the squares sharper and makes the wise guys pay attention. I am Chad Millman. I am joined, as always, by my BFF, my companion, my compadre, my co-host, professional bettor, Simon Hunter. Hello, Simon.
Chad, this week is truly the football fans' holiday week. It feels like if you're a diehard football fan, you love food. This is our week, Thanksgiving week. It's what we all know, right? You're just sitting around your family watching tend to be terrible games, and it's the best though. It's just it's a very American classic thing now. As I get older, I start to appreciate more and more of just family football on a Thursday.
Well, listen, you know I don't like food, but I do love the football, and I do love my family, especially because they have left the house and are now coming back, which is pure, pure joy. I'll also get my dad, his wife, my mother-in-law. It's going to be a full house here in the Millman Manch this upcoming week. I'm excited. I'm also excited because we got to do a show today. And just a reminder to everybody, we got the Tuesday show. So in the Tuesday show, we'll have the Brass Balls, we'll have the Chad's Choice, we'll have the Simon Says. We won't have a show on Thursday. On Sunday, we will do our parlay bets and rock and a hard place and sharp calls and your biggest bets for the week. This is kind of like our turducken show. It's the turducken of betting shows. It's full of our favorite bets.
Love it.
Do you want to hear my turducken story?
God. Do we have time for a story today? We have to go through a lot of games, Chad.
We have time. You always say no to my stories. I'll just tell you this. When I wrote the book, The Odds, which is my best-selling book about the world of sports betting that I wrote, 25 years ago, a guy from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, a lawyer in Baton Rouge, Louisiana named Nathan Fisher, left me a message on my answering machine. This is how long ago this was. A message on my answering machine telling me how much he loved the book, invited me down to Baton Rouge. I went because why not? Hung out with Nathan Fisher. That led to me doing a story about big baby Glenn Davis. I remained friends with Nathan Fisher, and every year Nathan Fisher, for the holidays, would send me a turducken.
There you go.
This one's for Nathan Fisher and the turducken, because this is the turducken of betting shows. We went 3-2 last week in our 5 favorite picks from our Sunday morning show. We won with the Bengals. We won with the Colts. We won with the Cowboys. We lost with the Cardinals and the Lions. For the year, we are 34-26 through 11 weeks. Don't forget, check out the Sunday AM show. Listen, I told you it's going to be a jam-packed Sunday show. We'll do the delayed sharp calls. Definitely lots of late-breaking moves on Sundays this year, so you're going to want to tune into that to see where we land. Don't forget, get all the shows Sharp or Square on YouTube, subscribe, and like this video while you're at it. Also download some Spotify, Apple Pods, wherever you get your pods. All right. Listen, before we talk the Thanksgiving games, in case you missed it, on Sunday, our free Pick'em contest officially returns next week. What does that mean? That means that we are all going to be picking games from the same exact lines in the same exact contest. Number one, that is the thrill. We again apologize if you did not hear. We are super excited, and it took a little while because we're in the betting space and there's a lot of regulations when you're going to do a contest, and it just takes a long time to get things done. We are super excited that it's coming back. Picks start week 14. If you're worried you'll somehow forget and you want to pre-register, just visit sharporsquare.thevolume.com. That's sharporsquare.thevolume.com. You can see it on the screen. Sign up for free. We're all going to play from the same lines against each other. We're going to play through the end of the playoffs. We're going to have a full 9 weeks to play a contest against each other. Producer Matt Mitchell is going to cover all the details in upcoming episodes. For now, just go to sharporsquare.thevolume.com to sign up. It's going to be a blast. All right.
And the more that of you that do sign up and, help us out next year, we get a better contest, better prizes. So even if you're just it's so late in the season, I don't want to do it, dude. Free show. Let's go. Join up. We've had contests before and we've given away crazy amounts of prizes and money. So please, people, join up. This is something that's really exciting. We worked really hard behind the scenes. Matt Mitchell, tons of credit to him. Getting this down. All
credit to Matt Mitchell. Nicely said, Simon. Just play along. It's a free contest, and the winner gets a trip to Florida and goes to games and gets to stay in a casino.
And look up the hotel. It is sick. I've been there before. This is not. I went non-sponsored. I went down there for some business, and it's legit a really awesome spot down there, Hard Rock.
Hard Rock does not fuck around with properties. They do it right.
Yeah.
Let's do some Thanksgiving football because that's what we love. Green Bay at Detroit. Detroit -2.5. Look, early money pulled this from 3 to 2.5. Money coming in on the Packers. And they were the more dominant team on Sunday if you look at it in their matchup with Minnesota. But that's not saying much considering J.J. McCarthy, who we're going to dig into a little bit later. The Lions got beat up and down the field by the Giants and needed a miracle from Jahmyr Gibbs at the end of the game to win. It's a weird game for me. I feel like I want to take the 2.5, and then I feel like that's a little bit of a sucker bet because it's already moved against me, and I'm taking a bite that I shouldn't take. Haven't played this one yet.
Yeah, it's unique. I think we're both in the same boat. We've got burned by this Lions team. We don't really trust them right now. But like I talked about last week, that felt very fluky with that Giants game. Like I said, you just 2 trick play touchdowns. That just doesn't happen. 1 trick play in a game touchdown is very rare. I don't even think any other game had a trick play touchdown. They had 2 against them, this Lions team. So, as much as I want to beat up their defense, they did have guys streaking wide open, and James took advantage of it. This Packers team, even watching that game against the Vikings, it felt like it was exactly what you said. It felt like JJ lost that game and gifted it to the Packers.
Yeah.
I don't know if the Packers really beat them and played that great. I mean, respect to Wilson, the kid that came in to run the ball. He played really well. I still think there's something a little off with Jordan Love, and there's just something I don't like and trust about him right now. So I joke that Thanksgiving, it's like they have good food and a lot of crappy football, and it's just because it is a chalk-heavy day. We've talked about this ad nauseum, but I'm going to read a lot of stats today just to bring up about how unique Thanksgiving is and just about what tends to happen on these exact days. So we know the deal. Favorites on Thanksgiving since 2004, 51-9 straight up, Chad. Okay, that's pretty shocking. The more shocking part is against the spread. They're 40-20. That's wild. Favorites going 40-20 since 2004 on Thanksgiving. So we joke all the time. It's like the books give us gifts. They give us these favorites. And unfortunately, we have only double-digit favorites, which is insane. They're 10-0 against the spread on Thanksgiving. But, this is a unique spot. And from the pros I've talked to that back this Packers, like you just said, the 3 was available and it disappeared. It's just about the overtime and all the stats that go against the Lions because they played an overtime game. But my pushback against that was their offense had 2 snaps in overtime. Like Gibbs took that for a long touchdown, the second carry, I believe, for a touchdown.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe you could say, well, their defense was on the field a ton, and that is fair. We talked early in the year. It's a bad spot to be in overtime than playing a short week. And it only happened once this year. It was the Raiders team. We got burned by it. They played the Broncos. If you think back to that game, did the Raiders really keep that game close, or is that just Bo Nix, just terrible, terrible game? They barely won 10-7. Like, it was just very fluky to me where the Raiders scored 7 points and they had 2 turnovers, and the Denver couldn't really take advantage of it. So, looking at the stats, Chad, it's not ideal. When teams are on, short rest like this, they're 24-47 against the spread in this exact spot this Lions team is in. Now, I push back against it that we talk about Campbell in his coaching career. Again, it's been tough because this is stats with Ben Johnson. He's done really well in games where he loses or doesn't cover consistently. So, in this exact spot, so he's failed to cover in 2 straight games now. He's 19-5 against the spread in the spot. So, It's tough where it's like usually the Lions and Campbell bounce back here and they cover in these exact games. And I've seen a ton of little floor stats too about him being a dog before. I believe he was 18-6 against the spread as an underdog. So I get why there is so much Packers love here. I got to trust this Lions team. The numbers move too much. I just think they're the better team, honestly, than this Packers team. And I think this is a good matchup for them where I feel like Campbell's going to treat that game as a loss, that game against the Giants, because they were so embarrassed defensively. With the Packers, they dominate. I feel like they're feeling good coming into this game, and the public is backing up that sentiment. Like you said, they're taking a ton of money right now, and this numbers move. So, again, I don't know if it's going to be one of our contest picks. Like you said, you're not too confident in it, but I do really like it now that it's down to 2.5. I think that's a Lions number at this point. At 3, I could have maybe been talked into the Packers, but now that's 2.5. You're giving me Goff at home where people are counting them out indoors. I just can't back the Packers. Again, Packers, LaFleur, 1-6 against Campbell and Goff in his career against the spread. Their only win and cover came this year in week 1. So I like this matchup with this Lions team.
This Lions team and the Packers, neither of them look right with offenses that are supposed to be amazing.
That's fair.
Goff is thrown for 1,000 fewer yards than he did at this time last year. He's getting sacked more frequently. The offensive line is not as good, and it's injured. Jahmyr Gibbs is kind of their dominant offensive weapon. They're really a two-dimensional team if you want to bring in Amon-Ra St. Brown, who's got 75 catches. Jamison Williams only has 30 catches this year. Sam Laporta is not on the field. So we're betting a Lions team, I think, based on past history and offensive performance. I'm with you. If I'm betting this game, I'm betting the Lions. I haven't gotten there yet because I think there's other games. I might want to just invest more in some other games than I want to bet into this Lions game. One of those games that's getting really, really interesting is Kansas City is now a 3-point favorite at the Cowboys, but this line was 4.5. And it's very similar to what we saw last week with the Cowboys opening as 4.5-point home underdogs against a perennial Super Bowl contender. And now the line has been bet down to 4, to 3.5, to 3. And all of a sudden, it's turning into a Kansas City Chiefs number.
Yeah, and this was a game, talked a little bit about it Sunday night. I just immediately grabbed the Cowboys just because of that Chiefs-Colts game. That, to me, was the most physical game of the week. As bad as you want to say the Colts defense is, they play really hard. And, they were really physically offensively against that Chiefs defense. And I just talked about it. It's a unique spot. The Chiefs played an overtime game that wasn't like the Lions game. It was not just 2 plays and a touchdown, right? They had to drive the field, really grueling, and it's a unique spot now. The Chiefs are on the road on a short week after playing an overtime game, which, once again, the exact same spot that Raiders team in. And just like the Raiders, this is a bad spot when you look at all the data, right? And historically, teams in this exact spot, the Chiefs on the road after playing an overtime game, 6-21 straight up, 5-22 against the spread. And, we're always looking for advantages here. I am shocked this number's moved because I just told you people, the favorites, the public usually lines up and bets them pretty heavily. And, like we're talking about right now, we know we're early in the week here, but just seeing what the public wants to do with this one, I am shocked. I am shocked. The Cowboys, again, it was an incredible win, that comeback win, but I thought the Chiefs win was better. Like that, they felt like they dominated that into the game and came back. Where the Cowboys, as good as they were, they made the plays. It felt like it was the Eagles that just totally fumbled that game and let them back in. Like just everything went wrong. So really unique spot. The fact that this number has been moved. It's going to make it. They're trying to make me take the Chiefs here, Chad, because I'm on the Cowboys. They talked about there's still 3.5s out there in a very public book that you can get, but it's a unique spot in the sense that we tend to fade the Cowboys on Thanksgiving because they get so much public love, and usually it's not that great of a number. Like that's the honest truth about it. I think Dak in his career is 2-5 against the spread on Thanksgiving. So even in his career, he usually gets too much love from the public, and the number doesn't make sense. So that's what I'm worried about here. If this gets a 2.5, we talk all the time, that becomes a Mahomes number. It's
yes.
3 and above. You want to fade Mahomes. And it's a stupid stat, but I do love this stat. The Lions and the Cowboys haven't covered on the same day since 2001. 2001. These two teams have played every Thanksgiving together. So I'm not going to lie. If the Lions covered that early game, I'm not going to be putting more money on this Cowboys team. It sounds stupid and random, but I always love those stats because it is bizarre. And they both have not gone 2-0 straight up and against the spread on Thanksgiving since 1994. So 30 years, over 30 years, these two teams who play every Thanksgiving. And again, that just says how bad the Lions have been in our lifetime.
Yes.
It also just says since 94, we've talked about this Cowboys team, how they've had a lull. Very bizarre, their Thanksgiving stats. So I do love the Cowboys, but I was hoping it was going to be 3.5. Unfortunately, at Hard Rock here, it's 3.
Yeah, it's the line has moved, I think, too much to really invest in the Cowboys. And because it's at 3, it's right in the line of where you want to invest in the Chiefs.
Yeah.
At this number, I don't think anyone should be betting it. I think you got to wait until you get to one side or the other on this. There's just no edge. We're trying to find edge. We're not just saying you got to bet every game. That's not the point. And we're not betting games because of random 30-year-old stats when the Lions have been a shitty team for 25 of those years. You know what isn't insane? Betting the Cincinnati Bengals as 7-point underdogs against the Baltimore Ravens on Thanksgiving Day when Joe Burrow is coming back to play. So let's do it. We haven't gotten official word that Joe Burrow is back, but all indications are that Joe Burrow is coming back. And this line has moved from 7.5 down to 7. Plus Jamar Chase will be back. Plus Chase Brown, who, Simon, kudos to you, all flowers. Early in the year, you talked about how Chase Brown was a guy that you thought had a chance to really have an impact and potentially be a huge rushing number guy this year. And the last 5 games, he's proving it. Like the only time he's gone fewer than 70 yards in the past 5 games was it in that shootout with the Bears that the Bengals lost, 47-42. To me, 7 is the number you give this game when Lamar is at full strength and this Ravens defense is at peak performance. But if you even look at the game last week against the Jets, they won 23-10. They covered some of the numbers, but that was not a dominant performance. They still look like they are struggling week after week after week. Give me the Bengals plus 7.
Yeah, love the Bengals, but it's a bizarre number. It's a game that I have major pause on because I don't get why they're still giving us the plus 7. We know it's probably going to be Joe Burrow. It's most likely going to be him. And
it did come down. It came down from 7.5.
Yeah, but that came out after it came out that, Lamar wasn't practicing. He had a what was it, toe injury or something like that? Or I'm not sure. He had some type of injury in that coach said it's not a big deal, but like we've talked about, none of us trust him right now. We think Lamar's looked off all season.
Yeah.
He's playing through injuries all season. So technically, like I've talked about, on Thanksgiving, this is a spot to back the Ravens because you want to back the favorites. Like, I'm not trying to throw Chad on the bus here, but Chad likes the 3 dogs this week on Thanksgiving. That's a killer. You don't want to be on Green Bay.
By the way, hold on. I have not once said I like the Packers. I have said
at 3.
I said they were bet at 3. I didn't say I liked them at 3. Okay, I said they moved.
Okay.
I said the whole time I said I like the Lions at 2.5. I just haven't bet it yet. Kansas City, I like the Kansas City Chiefs at -3. I'm hoping it'll get to 2.5. I have not bet that game yet. I've bet one game on Thanksgiving so far. Cincinnati plus 7 at Baltimore. That's all I've bet.
Dogs on Thanksgiving, people. You've heard it here first. He is on all the favorites.
Oh my God.
That's my whole point, though. You just don't want to. I liked all the dogs coming into this. You don't want to take all the dogs. It's just historically a bad day to be backing dogs, and that's why we got to be careful here about this number and the 7 because I think we both agree it feels like it's way too high and egregious. And historically, it's not a good spot to be fading Lamar. If it's basically this late in the season, it's this cold out, Lamar dominates these games at home, especially his big favorites. He dominates the Bengals in his career. I mean, let's go back the last 6 times they played. Joe Burrow is 1-5 against the spread against Lamar. He's just struggled against them. So to me, what I'm really banking on here is that Lamar is banged up. He's not as good as he perceives. And, as bad as this Bengals defense is, we talked about it, they showed us a little bit of something last week. They had a bunch of big stops. Now, we're not banking on it to happen 2 weeks in a row, but we are banking on Joe Burrow as a big dog. And, it's rare you get Joe as this big of a dog, which, again, should be alarms to us that is this big of a number. But as 3 points or more, Joe Burrow, 17-3 against the spread, covering by almost 5 points per game in those matchups. So it's a nice spot, nice matchup for Joe historically. But I just have some pause here because it's a big dog on Thanksgiving. And historically, those just do not cover. So I really, before I put any more money into it, I need to know it's Joe Burrow. Honestly, I haven't bet the 7. We talked about it. It was 7.5, 8 at a lot of books where it opened. I took that. If it keeps going down, that would make me feel a lot better because we talked about it. You want to be on the public side. The more money your side's on, like right now, the Cowboys are the public side. Normally, I back off of that, but because it's Thanksgiving, that's a good thing. You want to be on the public side on Thanksgiving. So I like this number right now. It's every book you look at right now, it's 70% of the bets and the money right now are on this Bengals team. So it's the public dog, right? It's a nice spot for this Bengals team. I think everyone just does not trust this Ravens team right now.
Nothing to trust. They just haven't dominated. Even that game when Lamar came back against the Dolphins in that first game, they won 20-6. It wasn't a dominant Lamar performance. He just hasn't gone full speed, full RPM because of the variety of injuries between the hamstring, the knee, the toe. He hasn't been practicing. You're getting Joe Burrow back. It's just a big number. It's a big number. Chicago at Philadelphia. Speaking of big numbers, so I got a bunch of people in town. We were all watching Monday Night Football last night. And last night, this game was at 7. It's now at 6.5, Eagles -7. And I'm trying to figure out, this was the conversation, is like, have the bookmakers been slow to adjust on the Eagles? Are they slow to adjust on the Bears? Like, is there no respect for the Chicago Bears? I need to know what you have this power rated at, because the Eagles are challenged on offense. They've got injuries on the offensive line. They've got issues in the secondary. This line is so high, it makes me feel like somebody knows something and is making me nervous to bet the Bears, especially the fact that it moved from 7 to 6.5. There's just something off about this.
Yeah, this is my Simon Says bet. Give me the Eagles -6.5 at Hard Rock.
Simon Says, presented by Hard Rock Bet.
I want to play a game. Simon Says.
And shockingly, I'm going against my model. My model has this game at 5. So it still thinks the Bears are the right side. I told you, I just think this Bears team is bad. And they've been playing against bad competition and winning games, but the Eagles might be bad as well. I think they're 25th now in offensive success rate. Like, they're not that good of a team either. I just think the best unit by far on this field is going to be that Eagles defense. And this is a great matchup for them at home against this Bears team that, if you can't get the run game going, you're putting on Caleb Williams. That's disaster. You do not want to be in that spot. I think that's what the Eagles are going to put him in here. And, it's a unique spot. This Bears team, you look at the record, like you just said, you would never expect them to be a 7-point dog when, you could argue they're just as good as the Eagles team, especially when you look at how the season's played out. But it's honestly a great spot for this Eagles team that, most teams play divisional games, and that's really physical, and they struggle the following game. So, since last year, teams coming off a divisional game, 135 130 against the spread. So a 5-game difference. That's nothing, right?
No.
The Eagles, they're 10-0 against the spread in this spot, covering by 10 points per game.
How many years?
2 years. Is that too far back for you, Chad?
No, that's perfect.
Okay. Yeah.
If it was like 10 years going back to the 1950s, I'd be like, I kind of don't buy it. But 2 years is plenty.
I know you hate history. You would invade Russia. We know. You'd lose the war in the winter. We know. We've gone over this. But to me, I'm trying to take my phantom out of it, how bad this Eagles team looked, and just look at straight numbers. It's like, okay, matchup-wise, this is a great matchup for the Eagles team against a defense. Chad knows you guys had no linebackers. Your secondary is totally banged up. They've lived off the turnovers. That's been the saving grace of this Bears team. Anytime they need a short field turnover, the Eagles team, that was the fluke of the fluke last week, right? They had these stupid fumbles, these stupid turnovers that they usually don't make. They're just a team that has not turned the ball over. So you would expect to be a get-right spot for this Eagles team, and it's really about how numbers move. Like I talked about, if it was still 7.5, I probably would have avoided. But now that it's come under, it's down to 6.5 here. It could keep moving. I'm not going to lie, people. You don't have to rush to bet this one. I'm just going to grab it now in case the professionals do come on the Eagles side, because I love this spot. And it's not shocking to see that, this is the week everyone's just burying the Eagles. I joked with you. I couldn't wait to listen to WIP on Sunday night because I just knew all these Eagles fans were going to be losing their minds. It's, one of the worst losses they've ever suffered. And, I think it's the first time since the 90s the Eagles have blown a 20-point lead in a game like that. So it couldn't be a lower spot, it feels like, for this Eagles team that I think the market's overreacting. We faded them last week. The 2 weeks before that, we were riding the Eagles team because the market was overreacting to this Eagles team. So it's kind of a fun seesaw spot. And we talk all the time, the Eagles are just a different team at home. Jalen Hurts, last 34 games, 30-4 straight up at home. This is going to be one of the more teased games this week. So I won't be shocked to see professionals coming in on the Bears side, but I do love it now that it's at 6.5 for this Eagles team.
Listen, I'm looking for a reason to bet against the Bears. So I'm happy to go.
I'm not. I want to be on the Bears. We talked about they're just more fun to bet on, but it feels like this number's moved too much. Like this probably should be 7.5, 8, and now you're getting a 6.5. I just can't believe it's moved this much.
Houston at Indy. Indy is a 4-point favorite. You tagged this one on Sunday night as a game you were betting the Colts immediately. It was at 3.5. And you expected a lot of fandom to come in on the Texans because what they've done against the Bills, and that it would move because the pros would like the Colts, and that's kind of what happened. We're seeing 4. There's also 4.5s. CJ Stroud is expected to play this weekend. From your point of view, this has to be a bet against CJ Stroud because Daniel Jones has definitely come back down to earth the past, say, 3 to 4 weeks, and especially last week in that second half against the Chiefs. So the number that we're looking at are at 4. Where do we stand right now?
Yeah, now, I'm not going to be the one defending Daniel Jones too much because, like you said, we knew he was going to be inconsistent. It is Daniel Jones in the day, but he did, these last 3 weeks were tough spots, right? He was at Pittsburgh, total meltdown game by him, then went across the pond to go play Atlanta, came back to face the Chiefs. Like, it has not been the easiest road for him right after that bye week. So you expect this to be the exact spot he gets right against a Houston team that, what have they won, 5 straight? It feels like 6 straight. I mean, they won 3 straight with Davis Mills came in. It's been very bizarre how they turned it around. And no, they did lose to Denver. That's right. Because we were on that game. I remember now where we should have won that game 1,000 ways, but CJ got hurt and Houston lost that game against Denver. But if you're telling me who has the best unit, we both agree it's the Texans. We know the deal. Texans defense, they're the best. But I just love this matchup for the Colts team inside with a running attack that can just change the game in so many different ways. And we've seen Jonathan Taylor indoors. He's a different beast. You get him on that turf, that speed, it's been crazy this season. So, the number is shocking. I honestly, when I gave it out, I was like, okay, the pros will come in on it. I did not see him moving a point because, like you said, I mean, Hard Rock's at 4, but it's 4.5 at a lot of books. So.
Yeah, that was shocking to me.
Yeah, it's tempting. They're begging us now to come on the Texans, but
yeah, I'm
going to hold firm, like this matchup with this Colts team offensively. And we saw a little bit of last week. I talked about it. I think the fact they got Ward back defensively, him and Sauce now as their 1 and 2 corners, that to me was a big deal. Like, they did shut down that passing game for a long time in that Chiefs game. Eventually Mahomes, he did the Mahomes thing where he scrambles around in circles and eventually guys get open. Is CJ going to be doing that his first game back after a concussion? I don't know. I see him playing a little timid here, so I definitely like this number on this Colts team.
All right, let's take a quick break from our friends at Hard Rock Bet. Today's show is brought to you by our presenting sponsor, Hard Rock Bet. There are 3 things to be thankful for this week: family, food, and football. And thanks to Hard Rock Bet, you can easily sneak in bets while your crazy uncle goes on his annual rant about the good old days. Sign up today and you could feast with $150 in bonus bets. Just place a $5 bet If it hits, you get not only your winnings, but also $150 in extra bonus bets. That's an offer you can't pass up, even on a full stomach. Not sure where to place your first bet? Head over to Hard Rock Bet Stats Hub and it'll help you out. It's loaded with trends, streaks, and stats to help guide your picks. Numbers don't lie, and neither does the data in there. Here's one that stood out to me. When the Packers are home favorites, Josh Jacobs has scored a touchdown in 10 straight games. Man, we love Josh Jacobs touchdown bets. Plus, this week on Hard Rock Bet, you get 3 50% profit boosts, one for each Thanksgiving Day football game. Boost your same game parlay or SGP max, so your bets pay extra winnings. There's new promos every day, so if you're listening to this later, just open the app and check out what you've got any day of the week. Download the Hard Rock Bet app and make your first deposit. All right, guess what, Simon?
Yeah.
It is time for Chad's Choice, presented by Hard Rock Bet. I'm going with the Cleveland Browns plus 5.5 at home against the San Francisco 49ers. I feel like I dodged a bullet last night. I nearly pulled the trigger on the Panthers at plus 7.5. Like you and I, we discussed it all week, and like there was something, we just couldn't quite get there on the Panthers, at least for purposes of the show. And I was so tempted. It was like I was still debating it up until about 6:30. And then I spoke to a buddy of mine, Mike Kearns, actually, who, was at the Chernin Group, recruited me to help them all launch Action, and massive Niners fan. And he walked me back on the Panthers. Didn't go exactly as sort of the blowout that I think we had convinced ourselves it would be. San Francisco played fine. Brock Purdy, 3 picks. The Panthers are really the reason why they didn't cover that game. The missed field goals, the picks from Bryce Young. But we now got the San Francisco 49ers on the road. This number is moved from 6.5. So I'm betting into a number that's moved. But at the end of the day, it's not about Dylan Gabriel being quarterback. It's not about Shadeur Sanders being quarterback. It's about the Browns at home as a dog with this defense that is going to be much more effective than anything they saw against the Panthers. We both liked this on Sunday night when the Browns were 6.5. That's when I bet it, but I'm still betting into it at 5.5.
Yeah, unfortunately, I did take the Panthers last night. I knew I was going to, but it was just as soon as I won that Rams game and had all that money, I was like, well, I can't just take this home with me. I got to put some of this on the Panthers. And like you said, those picks by Purdy felt pretty good, but Bryce Young, he did exactly what we worried about, right? It was the game after his historical best game of his career. He just totally melted down and played terrible. For this game, I mean, I can't believe people are backing the 49ers here. I'm so happy to see these numbers come down, Chad, because it had gone up to 6.5, which I said it might. We talked a little bit Sunday night, but I was like, what pros are hammering this 49ers team on the road here? Like, this is – I don't feel like this is the right spot to be backing Purdy in this game. And, as much as we want to fade Sanders after his big win, and my God, like him talking in front of a mic, I get why this coach won't say his name in press conferences. He must just hate how cocky and arrogant this kid is for, doing the bare minimum in this league. What do you have, 11 passes or 11 completions in that game? So, I love Sanders. I feel like the locker room loves him. The fan base seems to love him. So as much as negativity this coach has brought around it, it feels like everything I've read, the reports and seen stuff with the Cleveland team, they've really rallied around this kid. And I believe they named him the starter already for this game. So
yeah, they have.
They did. So that partially could be part of why the number moved as well, just because maybe most people have him graded now higher than Dylan Gabriel, because at least he does do one thing very well, which you can't say for Gabriel, which is pushing the ball downfield. He does have a pretty good arm. This matchup, we've talked about it. We don't trust this 49ers defense. We think they're suspect. Even against Carolina, I felt like they were moving the ball pretty well. It was just the Bryce Young turnovers that kept killing them. And, Canales, all of a sudden the most aggressive coach in the world, is now playing cautious.
What the fuck?
I mean, seriously, it just there's no rhyme or reason. I've complained about this with a lot of these coaches this year. It's like the one day they do one thing, the next day they feel a different way. It's like it doesn't feel like they're listening to any type of math. They're just going strictly off gut, which is not the right way to be. But yeah, for this game, Chad nailed it. Like I love this Browns team. It's unfortunate it's still not 6. We talk all the time. It's such a key number, but this game should be closer to 4, 3.5. We're getting some free points here on a 49ers team that, they finally did it. They covered a game after they had won a game. So now they're 2-15 after a win against the spread. I'm going to keep going after that trend. And I feel like another good spot where we thought the number would catch up to this Browns team at home. Feels like the books still haven't caught up to it. Feels like we're still getting away with one here on this Browns team at home, just how different they do play. And really diving into it, the way this matchup is going to play out, can Purdy beat us? Sure. We know that that's going to work out, but you already know they're going to scheme up to take away Christian McCaffrey. I'm excited to see what this offense can do without him, because even that Carolina game, I feel like every time they needed a big play, once again was McCaffrey getting that third down pickup. Once you put it on Purdy, I feel like he's going to struggle. So I love this matchup with you as well in this Browns team. And it's going to be interesting what this number does when we talk Sunday morning. Will it keep dropping, or will we get a pop back to 6? So people, if you want to rush and take it now just to be safe, you can. I think there is a world we get some professional money on the 49ers, and we do maybe get back to the 6 here. So you can be a little patient with your money. It is Tuesday. I do think we get back to the 6, but I would not be shocked if a ton of professional money came in and bet this one down. We just, like we talked about, we just love this match with this Browns team. And, as much as you want to say they're not playing for anything, that Myles Garrett going for that sack record, that's something that can motivate this team, I think, carry them throughout this cold, dark days of November, December here. So I think this is going to be a highly motivated Browns team, unlike people perceive.
Oh, so you think Shadeur Sanders isn't playing to keep them from drafting Fernando Mendoza or Dante Moore or anybody else who is streaming up the draft charts right now? Of course he is.
No, even worse. Have you seen the whole thing about how the Rams traded Atlanta's pick? So the Rams have potential. They're going to go to the Super Bowl this year and get a top 5 quarterback in this upcoming draft. Just next level of drafting and GM work by Snead.
He's the best.
He is. I mean,
he really is good.
Howie had his moments, but right now, you got to say Snead's the best GM of football.
Yeah, the way he went all in, traded the picks, got the Super Bowl, and now has rebuilt entirely off of draft picks. It's impressive. Totally impressive. All right, we're on the Browns. Good for us. Simon Says with the Eagles, so we're narrowing things down, top and bottom right there. Arizona at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is a 2.5-point favorite. Majority of bets were coming in on Arizona largely because of the Baker news.
I know.
And then Baker is there is news that he's potentially going to play, and the news is better than they expected it to be on his injured left shoulder that knocked him out of the game against the Rams on Sunday night. Part of me feels a little bit better if it was Teddy Bridgewater. Did you know Teddy Bridgewater has been under 500 in his career against the spread during just one season in which he was the primary quarterback? That was 6-8 when he was the quarterback for the Broncos for 14 games in 2021. That year, as a starter, he went 5-9. Even when he had a record of 5-10 with the Panthers, he went 8-7 against the spread. Teddy Bridgewater, we used to call him Teddy Covers because of how often he would cover when he was a starting quarterback. So, if everybody is going to be fading the BUCS off of that bad loss, off of a streak of bad losses, off of a Baker injury, I'll go ahead and fade the public here and lean into the BUCS. But for some reason, I don't want to do it if it's Baker.
Teddy Two Gloves. Yeah, I love this too. I was honestly thinking about making this Simon Says, but it feels like cheating because I feel like if we no matter what, people should be betting this Bucks 2.5 right now at Hard Rock. To me, if it is Baker, you could see this number jump right back up to 6.5. Like this number could be moving because that means they're getting Baker back and Bucky Irving. That would be a huge, huge deal. And I'm with you. Like I don't mind it being Teddy, but for themselves to protect Baker probably would be the right move, right? Hold him out of this game, get that shoulder right. Because I don't know if you watched how he injured it. He hurt it throwing the ball. Like he had already hurt it. He came back into the game. Yeah,
it looked like he hurt it as he was throwing that long throw. Like he hurt the left shoulder when he was throwing with his right hand.
And that's like, as someone that doesn't know anything about how to handle injuries or health, wouldn't that be the most alarming thing, that this guy is in so much grueling pain? Just throwing the ball is hurting his opposite shoulder. The torque of his body is hurting it that much. So I don't think he plays. This feels like a Teddy number, right? They've moved it too much, in my opinion. Like you just said, Teddy's a covering machine. Has he lost a step? Clearly. I mean, that game, he looked totally lost, and people are giving him a hard time. We've talked about it. It's really tough coming into games ice cold and never taking reps with the one, right? You're not – mentally you're not there, and you haven't had the reps either. So the fact that Bucky should be back this week with Godwin – I mean, we saw a little bit of Godwin last week, but he didn't really do much in that game. It was just everything went wrong for the Bucs in that game.
Yeah.
So I feel like you're totally nailing this one, Chad. Like I said, I was going to make it Simon Says, but I felt like it was a little bit of cheating. But 2.5, I really want people to grab that now. I just cannot see it getting any lower than this.
No such thing as cheating. That's just good betting, Simon.
It's true. I would just feel terrible if we took it and all of a sudden, an hour from now, Baker's out and the line's up to 6 again. It's like, well, that helped just me and Chad, no one else.
New Orleans at Miami. Big move from 4.5 to 6 on this for the Dolphins, and now it's back down to 5.5. I kind of just want this to come back down because I want to bet the Dolphins. I have done nothing in this game and don't have strong opinions on it.
Yep, I'll throw Dolphins in a teaser and I'll keep it moving. Well, we don't have to waste people's time this one. There's a world where, of course, the Saints can win this one. We all know Miami's a bad team, but we talk all the time. You have Miami at home, 1 p.m. in the sun. I mean, if they're wearing the whites, the Saints got to wear the blacks. I mean, they're going to be cooked by the fourth quarter. So we always joke. We fade Tua in the right spots. This is the type of Tua spot you back them. So we're both in the same boat. We don't really trust it. We don't want to be betting too much into it, but it does feel like it's a good number here of 5.5. Anything under 6, I'll be on the Dolphins.
Los Angeles Rams at Carolina Panthers. The Carolina Panthers are 10-point home underdogs, and this started going up after the Rams' dominant performance against the Bucs. Even, in that first half, it was starting to move. It's interesting. It's the second week in a row where the bookmakers are showing us how much more they respect the NFC West than the NFC South, right? Last week, the Bucs go into Los Angeles to play the Rams, 6.5, 7-point underdogs. The Panthers go into California, go into San Francisco, and they play the Panthers, 7.5-point underdogs. Now, all of a sudden, the Panthers are 10-point dogs to the Rams in Carolina. So are the bookmakers telling us that the Carolina Panthers, who are a 500 team, would be 16-point underdogs to the Rams in Los Angeles? Like, this number is massive.
Maybe like a 13-point dog is what they're saying, but I get where they're coming from. Like, honestly, I'm betting this Carolina team. I mean, we both are going to bet them. Like, we love this number. This feels like a great matchup and a spot for them to bounce back. And as great as that Rams team has looked, you could attack that Rams secondary. That's really, to me, their biggest weakness defensively. Like, there are guys in their secondary that are just young, a little green behind the ears, and there's ways to attack it. And coming off his worst performance, it's not shocking. Like, who is going to be backing this Panthers team? So I'm looking forward to hearing all the pros I talk to, how they're feeling about this one. If they're just avoiding it, if they're, like me, really loving this Panthers team, because, if this was 10.5 at Hard Rock, this is another game where it's like I could have made this, Simon Says. Like, that felt like way too big of an overreaction. This game, my model has it at 7. So I'm getting 3.5 points of value on this Panthers team. So really unique spot. And, we've talked about it. This Rams team, it's different than teams of McVay's past. Back in the day, not even back in the day, just a year or two ago, McVay is no way covering this number. He does not play that way. He doesn't play to blowout teams.
Right.
We've seen him a couple times this year play against bad teams and just keep the foot on the gas. I mean, Tennessee one really jumps out where he just really leveled them in the second half. So, the Seahawks game, he pulled back. He really didn't do much. That Tampa game, you feel like he pulled back a little bit. Once Baker was out of the game, that offense really didn't do much. So I'm hoping maybe he's back to his old ways, Chad, of taking the foot off the gas. And even if we're down 24-7 heading into the second half, we have a 10 or a 10.5 point spread here. We are a touchdown away from covering. So I just feel like it's way too big of a number. Even, he let us down last night, but Panthers could have covered that number in so many different ways. They had the opportunities. So it feels like taking the Panthers here is the right spot. We need a lot of things to go against us, a lot of things to be unlucky about for us not to cover this number. So really, really inflated number here on this Rams team, which, again, they should be. They're the odds-on favorite right now.
Yeah.
Super Bowl odds-on favorite, MVP favorite, Stafford. Totally get what the books are doing here because this will be in every teaser, every parlay. I mean, the Rams are going to be getting hammered here. No one thinks the Panthers can pull off an upset. I'm going to have a little money on this Panthers money line, Chad. This feels like a nice spot to take this team here to bounce back.
Well, look, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm thinking about a Carolina-Cleveland money line.
Oh, it's gross. I love it. Yeah,
parlay.
I'm down. That's going to be obscene odds. I'll look that up for
yeah.
you.
But when we were talking about the Browns, I was thinking this has money line written all over it.
Yeah. And, that Browns game, we've talked about ad nauseum. It's just we're simply betting on the defense there, people. We're here. As much crap I want to give Panthers defense, I think they showed up last night. We have a good team. The Panthers are not as bad as people keep making them out to be. They are up and down. I will give people that. But this is like an egregious number. So those two money lines together, Chad, basically 19-1.
Jesus.
That's a nice payout.
The one thing that worries me about this Panthers team is, look, J.C. Horn left the game last night puking, potential concussion. One of their defensive backs had Juwan Jennings in the nuts. Who knows if he's going to be suspended or
two other defensive backs. You're right. I didn't think about that.
There are some concerns here in the backfield that make me a little bit anxious against Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua and 8 different tight ends, running across the middle. So there are some fears.
That's true.
You know where there aren't fears, Simon? The Atlanta Falcons at the New York Jets. The New York Jets are currently 2.5-point underdogs. And the New York Jets will be our brass balls bet of the week.
You know what it takes? It takes brass balls.
We agreed on this one from the get-go. The Jets were just in a street fight with the Ravens. But if you look at that game, they did hold their own. Like the drive charts in that game they're so ugly. Punt, downs, punt, fumble, punt, interception. Like, this was a closer game than the score would indicate. The public is going to come in on Atlanta. They're going to be all over Kirk Cousins because of what they did against the Saints. It was hard not to be, I'm not going to say impressed with the Jets against the Ravens, but they were competitive. More total yards, more passing yards, more yards per attempt. The team is just different with Tyrod Taylor at quarterback, who is much more comfortable throwing downfield and much more accurate. So I'm fine with the Jets at 2.5. My only disappointment, I won't even say hesitation, is I could see this number getting to 3, and we can't give it out at 3 because it's 2.5 today, and that's when we're doing the show.
And we don't go too overboard. Taylor, he's a covering machine, but he did only score 10 points in that game. So, I mean, Justin Fields, Taylor, we don't really care, honestly. But I think we're both in agreement. This is really about kind of what we had last week where, I was able to get us off of it because I respected the money coming out of Atlanta, but it was just about the Shuck. I just kept sitting there and being like, damn, me and Chad are backing Shuck as a favorite here. Like, are we lost in the woods here? And it did feel like that way. And as soon as that game started, I don't know if they had a stupid fumble or something happened. It wasn't even Shuck's fault, but it was just like, oh man, this Saints team, this is one of those games, everything's gonna go wrong for them. And it really did. And props to Kirk. Kirk did play really well. Kirk is now a 2.5-point favorite on the road. That to me is right there, should jump out to everybody. This is a huge mistake to be backing this Atlanta team where when you really break it down, okay, Kirk might be able to get his and move the ball here. The Jets want to run the ball. Atlanta might have one of the worst run defenses in football, honestly. Like, they are so bad against the run. And they got lucky last week. Kamara got banged out, got knocked out of that game really early on. And that kind of really moved away from the run game of the Saints, right? They were like trying to run Taysom Hill and do stuff like that. It just was not clicking where, Breece Hall, he's been great all season. And I love this matchup for him. So if Fields back, if it's Taylor, I like both of them. Obviously, my view of Taylor is he's a covering machine. You go through his data, I think he's now covered 6 straight games. He started and finished, Taylor. So he's been great as a backup coming and covering games, and the public continues to undervalue him. So I do agree with you that part. It probably is a better thing to have Taylor. He's just more consistent and safer. But I also love the upside with Fields in the run game against this Atlanta team. Like, their linebackers one-on-one with Fields, they will lose that battle every time. Same with Breece Hall. Like, they just do not have the guys with the wheels to stand up against those two type of athletes. So, yeah, we both love this one coming into it. Our only hesitation is, will this get to 3? Like, that was the only thing we worried about, is we don't want to give out you guys a bad line here, but I think the pros will be all over this one. I could easily see this game getting down to 1.5 pick by kickoff come Sunday. So I love this one. I could easily see this being our contest come Sunday as well.
Maybe we're doing a Cleveland, Carolina Jets money line parlay. Maybe we're just all over the money lines.
My God.
This week. Let's just be gross. Let's give thanks for the opportunity to bet Tyrod Taylor and Shadeur Sanders and Bryce Young. You're not wrong about the Saints last week. Like, the Falcons, all the flowers for Kirk, right? But the Saints had 2 missed field goals and turned the ball over on downs on the Falcons' 1-yard line. So it's not like that game, and it was ugly for us, and it never felt like we were in it, but we really weren't ever out of it until the very end, when the Falcons got that game securing touchdown and ended up winning, 24-6 or whatever. But like, that's a game that the public didn't really watch. They just see Kirk Cousins coming back and winning by 18 points, and all of a sudden they're 2.5-point favorites on the road against the Jets. So that's a game we're definitely going to be betting for sure. Jacksonville, Tennessee. Tennessee is a 6.5-point underdog. Let's do ourselves a favor. Let's skip it, because we cannot get it right with this Titans team.
No, but like, our hate for Trevor Lawrence goes further than that. So we'll be with. I'm assuming you'll be on it with me. I'll be on Tennessee, but like Chad just said, I'm happy to avoid it. But yeah, I hate this Tennessee team so much. So we're backing on a Tennessee team here with a backdoor. But I also feel like it's a game Tennessee could win. I just can't get over how bad Trevor Lawrence is. Like, I went back and rewatched that Cards game.
So bad.
We didn't cover it. It's just so sickening to me. He is horrible. And in this matchup, you've seen those last couple of weeks, Jeffrey Simmons coming in, the run defense has improved so much for Tennessee since he's been back. So, Tennessee is terrible. We hate them, but ain't no way I'm betting Jags a -6.5-point favorite on the road. So, like you said, I just will avoid it. We'll have to discuss it again. Thank God for the rest of the week. But in my pick pools and everything like that, I will be on Tennessee.
Tennessee, part of the money line parlay. Cam Ward, Shadeur Sanders, Bryce Young, Tyrod Taylor. We're putting them all in a money line parlay, and we're going to give thanks for all these quarterbacks. By the way, can't you?
I can. No, it makes sense.
It totally makes sense. I actually don't know that I've had this much clarity on anything the entire season. I'm so ready.
Even if we go 2-2, that's a great hit.
I love watching how angry Liam Cohn gets on the sideline watching Trevor Lawrence. Like, I feel like I know exactly what is in his head, and he's trying to manage his frustrations with a child who does not learn any of the lessons that you try to teach them every single day.
He just doesn't learn from his mistakes. It's so bizarre. It's like, the number one thing with humans, the reason we've survived for 2 million years, however long we've been here, is we learn from our mistakes. You make a mistake and you do your best not to keep making that same mistake. His regression, like we've talked about, his regression has been alarming these last 2-3 years. It's just crazy. And we made excuses for him. We did. All of us did. We're like, well, it's the injuries, right? It's the coaching around him, all this stuff. And it's like, this year, you could be like, well, his number 1, number 2 receivers are out. That could be part of it. Dude, these picks are egregious. Just horrible reads and throws right to the defender's chest. Just no excuses. So like we've said, I don't want to keep going how much I am down on Trevor Lawrence. Everyone's down on him, but I think they have like 3 or 4 years left of all guaranteed like $40 million per year type of deal with the Jags. Just terrible decision paying this man all that money.
Listen, everyone's down on him, but I think we were down on him first. I can guarantee, like, we started talking about
so bad last year. We were both swore him off.
Yes.
You drank a little bit of the Kool-Aid. I will say, you took them to win this division.
I think I did.
A fair fact of, you trusted the coach, not Trevor Lawrence, though. So that's where I'll give you the grace of like, well, your read's not terrible. You trusted the coach. No one's trusting Trevor Lawrence. He is just a train wreck.
Total train wreck. It's going to be fun to see how they figure out what to do with him. Speaking of quarterbacking train wrecks, Simon, Minnesota at Seattle. Seattle's a 10-point favorite. The cumulative stats this week and the piling on about J.J. McCarthy and how poorly he's playing has really become kind of mean-spirited, right? They're just piling up. One stat I saw noted that he would have had a better QB rating this past week against the Packers if he had downed the ball on purpose every single time instead of what he actually did in the game. He is last in the league in just about every category. There are some stats going around about his historically bad start putting him as sort of the worst quarterback start in a decade. And then he mysteriously popped up in the concussion protocol on Monday, which means that Max Brosmer, an undrafted free agent from Minnesota, by way of New Hampshire, is going to be getting first-team reps. I want to see if I can convince you at some point this week to bet on the Minnesota Vikings. Minnesota Vikings at plus 10, plus 10.5 against this Seattle team, because this Vikings defense is exactly what gives Sam Darnold the biggest problems.
Yeah, you're probably right. I'm probably missing on this game. I honestly don't want to invest in this game either side, if I'm being honest. I might end up having some money on Seattle. Maybe I'll get there eventually, but this Vikings team could improve with this kid coming as a quarterback, but from everything I've seen and read, I don't know if it's going to be that much better, buddy, honestly. Like, they put themselves in such a horrible, embarrassing
position. They really have.
You let Daniel Jones, you let Sam Darnold walk out that door last year, and I think me and you are on the same page where, you more so. You respect KOC way more than I do. I
love him.
For that. You do. Where I am still like, this guy is good, but he is not this McVay, Shanahan type that people make him out to be. I still put him a ring below. I put him in the Sirianni level, where I have questions about this guy and some of the things he does. This, to me, is on him. You know for a fact, after he was coach of the year last year, the ownership came to him and said,
who do you want
to pay Sam, or do you believe in JJ? And he said, I believe in 9. And this guy, I mean, we had a guy on our show. He's a Man Mitchell guy. I don't know if his name was Thor or something like that. He's a Twitter personality.
Yeah, he's great.
He is. He's someone who's been all in on JJ. And every time this guy does something terrible, I think of him, and where it's like, this is the hardest part about being a fan, where you have blind love and, hope for your quarterback of the future. And I would love to know if he has given up yet, because to me, again, most times I'm going to give the guy a year or two to figure it out. JJ, like Chad said, has been so historically bad. To me, he is deader than dead. If you look at his numbers compared to Jamarcus Russell, arguably the biggest bust in all of football history, he is worse per play than Jamarcus Russell, a guy who didn't watch tape. That JJ is worse than him. So, pros got sucked into it before the year. Professionals talked about, coming to the season, how much they love JJ. This Vikings team was a sleeper team to them. I think I even made a bet on JJ to win MVP at 80-1, because I had some pros in my ears telling me I didn't know how good this kid's going to be and I got to trust KOC. Just an absolute train wreck here, Chad. So I get what you're doing here. You're not betting on the offense. You're betting on the Vikings defense that practiced against Sam Darnold. They know Sam Darnold's tendency. They should have an advantage here. I think your read is right. You're buying low as well in this Vikings team. I just can't get there. I mean, my God, that if you can't convert a 3rd and 5, how are you going to stay competitive in a game? So I don't know if I can trust a kid to convert 3rd and 5s against a Seattle defense that they're really good. They didn't cover last week because they played, a really shell defense, cover 2 to end that fourth quarter. And anytime Cam Ward needed to pick up a first down, he used his legs. That was, to me, the reason that game switched. So if this Vikings kid that's coming in can use his legs and pick up first downs that way, there is a way for you to cover this number. So I don't hate the idea, Chad. All the unknowns here, I can't back the Vikings with you here. But I do get your read, and I like where you're coming from.
Listen, I don't know anything about Max Brosmer, except what I read on Wikipedia that he went to New Hampshire and then went to Minnesota. I can't tell you. All I can tell you is that Sam Darnold when he's getting pressure, and we've seen it with the Rams specifically, once against the Vikings and once against the Seahawks, that's when he struggles the most. And they have been prone to turnovers this year, and their running game hasn't been as good as they would like it to be. So it's very likely that the game could be put in Sam Darnold's hands. And I'm not saying he isn't a worthy quarterback who can win games for you and is going to put this team in a position to be a Super Bowl contender again this year like he did with the Vikings last year. But that's just a huge, huge number against a quarterback who nobody has seen. Can they score 14 freaky points in the first quarter? Can it get hard for the Vikings for the Seahawks to get to 28 after that? Like, it could be a competitive game, and this Vikings defense is good. Like, it's not a bad defense. So,
again, we forget it because it was more than 3 weeks ago, but JJ went to Detroit and won 27-24. Like, this Vikings team can upset and win games despite having nothing at quarterback. But, man, it is you need a lot of things to go your way.
It is weird for JJ. I don't know how he comes back from all this. And who knows if he's in the concussion protocol because they're like, we got to find a way to get this guy off the field. Like, he's struggling right now, and he might not be able to come back from this. I started having visions of, oh my God, is this a Trey Lance, Brock Purdy situation? Like, if Max Brosmer comes in and he's amazing for the next 2 weeks, all of a sudden is JJ McCarthy on the outs?
You know how this ends. It's going to be JJ versus our guy Mac Jones next August in camp.
Oh yeah.
They're going to bring in someone like exactly like that and see if JJ can't beat him out, give that guy the job. We're upset about it. I can't imagine the front office in KOC right now just staring in the mirror being like, we had the guy, we let him go for this. Like, it's just train wreck.
Interesting. Mac Jones, that's interesting. Las Vegas at the Los Angeles Chargers. The Chargers are 9.5-point favorites. Chip Kelly, he is out. Does it make a difference? I don't know. Do I want to bet this game? No thanks.
Yeah, same. I want to be on the Raiders, but I'm not going to force it in. There's 10s out there if you want to grab it, but yeah, this is not going to be even close to one of my top 10 bets this week. It's just happy to avoid this one and just not watch a second of it.
Buffalo at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's a 3.5-point underdog right now. I'm just trying to figure out what the Steelers are good at. Their defense is kind of suspect. Their passing game is inconsistent. There are people in Pittsburgh who are losing it about Mike Tomlin right now, wondering if he is past his prime. Both teams need this game desperately for any kind of playoff positioning. I want to bet the Steelers because they're home dogs of more than a field goal, and this is kind of when you got to do it. But I don't want to bet the Steelers.
No, it's a game that we have to bet, Chad. You just said it, though. You're getting an undervalued Steelers team against a Bills team that's still, to me, being overvalued by the public. Like, that defense, they have some weeks where they do show up, like that Chiefs game. I felt like they showed up and they were playing fast and hard, and they were good against the run. And then you see a game like they had last week where it's like they can't stop anybody, and Josh Allen's struggling as well. Like, they made Houston and Davis Mills look like a legit contender. Like, looked like they were the better team than this Bills team. So I honestly wanted to be on the Bills. I was like, okay, this will be a nice bounce back spot. Maybe we'll get the Bills -1.5, -2.5 favorite. They opened it like 3.5, 4 at a lot of books. So, pretty shocking. They opened the number where they did. It's a ton of respect to just how great Josh Allen is, but he's just been all inconsistent all year and losing games he shouldn't lose all year. And it's just like the Chiefs, and we talk about that's why this year's been so fun. It's not the same old teams we're used to, because we talk all the time. If you don't draft well, it eventually catches up to you. And this Bills team, organization, not that they've wasted Josh Allen's career, but they've never addressed the defense. They never went out and got him the number one. I mean, Coleman, we took a ton of shit because I was talking about Steven Smith said he wasn't a starting receiver in this league. This is 2 weeks they've sat him now because he's so immature and they can't trust him. to block and do things they need him to do consistently downfield. And like I said, I wanted to be on the Bills team, but something just feels off. They had that horrible loss to Atlanta. They had the bye week. They bounced back, right? They dominated the Panthers. They beat the Chiefs, huge win. But then they dropped that embarrassing game to the Miami. And then they come back and have a huge dominant win again against Tampa that we talked about. Tampa, if they didn't go 3-and-out, probably should have covered, kept that game on much closer. Just Josh Allen hit that next level in the fourth quarter. The following week, Josh Allen couldn't do what he had done the week before, right? He couldn't be that hero in the fourth quarter. So this feels like another number where the books are saying he's going to cover you. He's going to get that late cover, and the public is drinking it. They're coming in so heavy on the Bills team. This is the exact spot we do back Tomlin and the Steelers team. And like you said, we don't trust them. Their defense seems off. I do think Josh Allen could get his, but I think offensively with Gainwell and hopefully DK is healthy in this matchup, I think they'll be able to move the ball, the Steelers team, even if it is Mason Rudolph, who, can't throw the ball more than 20 yards downfield or doesn't have the confidence to do it. He still moved the ball semi against that Bears team in different ways where they schemed it up to get guys open. So it's not a game I'm banging on the table right now. Maybe come Sunday morning I'll be more confident just because I know it's Rodgers and not Mason Rudolph. But it feels like we're just back in the number here in Tomlin. We're trusting this spot with Tomlin here at 3.5 and fading a Bills team that just doesn't feel like to me they deserve to have a 3.5 hook. They're so bad. They've just been so bad defensively this year, and they've just asking Josh Allen to do so much with no-name receivers. I mean, I just can't get over the fact they failed him like this. Like, how do you not go get him a number one? It's malpractice. It really is. Like, you're just wasting years of what we keep every year we talk about. He's a top 2, top 3, number 1 quarterback in this league, and it just feels like they're wasting it. They're just wasting it. So people can hear my voice. I don't want to be on the Steelers team, but it feels like I have to. I have to take this number here and fade the public and all their love on this Bills team. It's just way too much number. And I'm looking now, Chad. There were 4s when we started the show. They've all come down. There's 1 4 out there still in my area, but most books are moving back to 3.5. So some early professional money here on the Steelers side.
All right. Wouldn't it have been great if Myles Garrett and Josh Allen could have been on the same team? The all-wasted talent team with Josh Allen and Myles Garrett. We should have figured that one out. Let's talk about the prime time games, our prime time spotlight. We all know people are going to figure out a way to bet them. First one up, Denver, 6.5-point favorite at the Washington Commanders. Tricky one to really handicap on a Tuesday of Thanksgiving week, 5-6 days before the game, because we just don't know about Jaden Daniels. And there's rumors that he might be able to play. He's inching back, being a little bit more healthy. We don't know for sure. Honestly, it's just hard to have an opinion on this game right now.
That's fair. I'll be on Washington, but it is hard to have an opinion on it. Obviously, Washington's biggest weakness is by far their defense. They're just terrible. You'd think Sean Payton but just have a field day here. Like, this is such a dream match for him scheme-wise. So many ways to attack this defense if he chooses to. And, if it's Daniels, that's why I'm betting it now. If it is Daniels, I could see it move another 2 or 3 points. It could come down a little bit more. So I'll back Washington early here, but like Chad said, I'm in no rush to bet this one.
The New York Giants, resurgent, competitive for 2 weeks in a row with Jameis Winston. New York Giants took the Packers down to the wire, took the Lions into overtime, lost both games dramatically. Now they're visiting the New England Patriots. They're 7.5-point underdogs Monday Night Football. We don't know at this point if it's going to be Jameis or Jaxson Dart. My feeling is it's going to be Jaxson Dart. He did practice last week. He traveled with the team. That indicates to me that he's probably going to be ready to go. I think the real issue here, Simon, is who's playing on the left side of the offensive line for the New England Patriots, because they had players just being carted off on Sunday in that game that they barely covered against the Bengals. So I know where I'm going to lean in this game. Do you want to say it? Do you want me to say it? Do we want to be disgusting together? Do you want to say it on the count of 3? 1, 2, 3. Giants? Giants. You weren't with me on that. We weren't coordinated.
Well, Zoom, it syncs us out, I thought, if we say it at the same time. But yeah, I love the Giants as well. We talked before the show. I almost made it. My Simon says you almost made a Chad's choice. It's really about this defensive line for the Giants against what we are presuming now is going to be their backup left tackle and their backup left guard, which is a huge deal. That was honestly their biggest strength, it felt like. When I was really looking at the run scheme board, a lot of their big runs and gains are to that side. And pass blocking wise, same thing. It's a side where they can leave one-on-one matchups where they usually chip to the right side, either with a tight end or the running back. Now, what are they going to do, right? Are they going to do more 12 personnel to try to protect Maye? Because this is a terrible match for them, right? They have two different guys on the defense line of the Giants that Maye can't use athleticism against them, right? Burns will be able to catch him. Carter will be able to catch him. Like they're just as athletic and just as fast as him. So this 9 at Hard Rock in Jersey is already down to 7. So since we started the show, this line has moved. A couple other 7s popping up. People, if you hear this, go grab it. Go grab this Giants team. I think this will keep coming down. If Dart gets cleared, I could see this going below 6. Like that's how big of an upgrade he is offensively. As much as we love Winston, the running aspect with Dart is a game changer, right? The way they can use his legs. You see with Kafka, give him tons of credit. He's really schemed up a great offense here these last couple weeks since he's taken over, right? Like they just feel like they're always kind of keeping teams on their toes and throwing them off fence. So, as much as I wanted to be scared off of this one because I feel like we're buying high on Jameis, it's really not appearing that way. Like money is from the public coming in on this Patriots team. They're still believing in this Patriots team where I think me and you are in agreement. They're overlooking how big of a deal it is losing 2 key starters on the offensive line with a young quarterback here. So, really fun game. I could see us end up getting it as one of our 5, especially come Sunday if we know it's Dart and we do get a 7.5 in contest. I just love this number so much. So, yeah, hopefully people hear this. 2 of the most public books. I know Hard Rock's gone, but 2 very public books still have 7.5s out there. So I hope people can get that before it goes away.
Right now, we are looking at Philadelphia minus 6.5 for Sunday morning conversation. Don't forget, Simon Says is Philadelphia. I think.
Tweet out. I should say from the top, Chad. I don't want to cut you off. We'll tweet out if anything on Thursday. If Wednesday, tomorrow, Chad reaches out to me or I reach out to him, we say we really like our line and we will put in the contest. Maybe since he gets in there, because if it is Joe Burrow and Lamar's in practice all week and we're getting 7.5 or 6.5, I don't know about you, Chad. I'll be very tempted to take Cincy. And same goes to the Cowboys. Cowboys 3.5. I'll be very tempted to take that as well. So I promise, post anything. No shady business. We will let people know hopefully 24 hours before ahead of time if we do set it on a Thursday game.
We are a transparent, literate podcast. That's what we do. We talked about Indy -4. I don't know if we'll get there on that.
Nah, it doesn't move too much.
Cleveland plus 5.5 was Chad's choice. I think we love it. We're going to play that on the money line as well. BUCS -2.5 is definitely going to be in the conversation. Carolina plus 10, it's going to be hard not to have that in the conversation. The New York Jets plus 2.5, that is brass balls. That will 100% be in the conversation. Pittsburgh plus 3.5 maybe, and the New York Football Giants plus 7.5. Go and grab it. We know we'll want to have that in the conversation. Don't forget, we will be back on Sunday, not Thursday, Sunday, when we'll go over the money line parlays we're doing for favorites and dogs. We'll do our Rockin' a Hard Place bet of the week. We'll do the biggest bets. We'll do an abbreviated sharp calls just so we can get it all out of our system. Also, we will be bringing the contest back. It's going to start week 14. If you want to sign up right now, go do it. It's going to be a free pick'em contest that will run until the end of the football season, including the playoffs. We're going to get 9 weeks, 5 bets a week against the spread. As we get into the playoffs, we'll adjust and figure out what the other bets are going to be. We're all going to be betting from the same lines. You're going to compete against me and Simon for fantastic prizes from our sponsors at Hard Rock Bet. We're super excited to bring it back. sharporsquare.thevolume.com is the website. We'll have all the details as well on next Tuesday's show. Watch or listen to us on YouTube at Sharp or Square. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, download us from Spotify, Apple Pods, wherever you get your pods. Rate, review, subscribe, leave us 5 stars, say whatever you want. Feedback is a gift. Until next time, love you.
It's nice to get together with the families, but in a time when it seems fashionable to be critical of those things we don't have and to be angry at everything, it might be nice to step back and look at the things that we do have, the good things we share in life and to be thankful for just a moment for those.